Guess who's back again, den. Look, I would have just put the music, but the last time I put someone else's music on this channel, the video got copyrighted. So, we're just going to have to deal with it. Hey guys, hope everyone is having a great day. Nearly at the end of the week. We're nearly there, guys. One more work day of the week, so just keep on holding on. Just wanted to hop on here and do a quick one today. Wasn't planning on doing a video, so I just have to quickly squeeze this between a few other responsibilities that I have. But the Browns' worst kept secret has come out. Kevin Stefanski has confirmed he will resume play calling duties. I'm just happy that they didn't draw this out as long as they did last off-season when they hired Dorsey. They've made it pretty clear from the start Kevin will go back to play calling duties. So just wanted to give my initial reactions to that. If you are a long-time subscriber of this channel, then you will probably not be surprised by this news. Same with me, obviously this does not come as a surprise to me. I've been talking about this for months now. It's been pretty, expected that this is the move that they were going to make. As soon as it was pretty clear that the Watson, experiment had failed, and the final kind of nails went into that coffin at the start of this season, it was obvious that the Browns were going to move on from Watson and likely go back to, their previous offensive philosophy under Kevin Stefanski. So, from that moment, it was quite clear that that was going to be the plan. Of course, Kevin was still calling plays at the start of the season. They handed the play calling to Ken Dorsey. I get it. They just wanted to see if they could get anything out of that kind of offensive system that they were trying to run. We all know how it went. It was a disaster. The Browns were one of the worst offenses in the league. So, I've known, you've known, we've all known that they're going to go back to their previous philosophy, more of a West Coast scheme. Who else is better to call the plays than Kevin Stefanski if that's what you're going to do? So glad that they've, come out and said it quickly, kind of nipped it in the butt early on, not let any speculation go on, throughout the off season like they kind of did last season. I think they've learned from that. So when they introduced Tommy Rees today in his press conference as the new offensive coordinator, got it out of the way straight away. So glad that they did. So I guess you're probably wondering, do I think this is the right move? Do I think this is the good move? You could probably tell by now, yes, I do think this is the right move. As I've said, if you are going back to what you did previously, a more of a West Coast scheme, then this is the obvious move. There was no offensive coordinator you could have hired to come in and call plays under this scheme that is better than Kevin Stefanski, in my opinion. So I think this is 100% the right move. For all the people that, might not be Kevin Stefanski's biggest fan, might not be the biggest fan of his play calling, I will just remind them that, under Kevin Stefanski as a play caller for this offense, as a head coach as well, we've had 2 11-win seasons and made the playoffs twice. Something we didn't, do in the previous 30 years. So the success is there. The proof is in the pudding. People can have their arguments with it, but in the end of the day, you can't really argue with the facts. As I just said, they speak for themselves. The winning record, the playoff appearances. You look at the respect that Kevin Stefanski gets around the league as an offensive play caller. I know a lot of people like to take the mick out of him, but Dan Orlovsky, he is a massive, massive fan of Kevin Stefanski. Thinks he's one of the best offensive play callers in the NFL. And this is a guy who knows his stuff when it comes to football. It's not just him. Plenty of other people have spoken highly about Kevin Stefanski. Even Tommy Rees in his press conference mentioned that the reason he came to the Browns initially last year was so that he could, work under Kevin Stefanski and learn from him. And, he was asked as well that he might have been offered more, other roles with perhaps more responsibilities, i.e. play calling. But the reason he wanted to stay here was, again, alluded quite highly to Stefanski. So, as I said, the proof is in the pudding. He is a good play caller. Yes, we can all get annoyed at some plays that he might call, but he is a good play caller. The evidence is there. 2 11-win seasons under him, 2 playoff appearances. He's led Jacoby Brissett led offense to a top 10 offense. He's led a Joe Flacco led offense to a top 10 offense. Multiple years of having just journeymen quarterbacks, lead an offense to a top half of the league offense. You look at last year with, 5 different starting quarterbacks, and I think he was still top 10 in points scored on offense. So I don't buy into the Kevin Stefanski's not a good play caller stuff. Not at all. I completely disagree with it. If you're someone that does think that he's not a very good play caller, I'd love to know why you think that. I'm not in an argumentative way. I generally am curious. So if you do, drop a comment and we'll talk about it. But for me, as I've said, the proof is in the pudding. I've seen this guy call plays for 4 years now for this team, and I think he's more than good enough to do so, especially under a more West Coast scheme. I don't think there's many better guys out there to do it. I am quite a big fan of ballsy play calling as well. I like going for it on 4th down. I don't like kicking field goals when there's no point kicking field goals. I'm a big fan of the play callers that are confident in themselves to make those decisions. And not many play callers are as aggressive as Kevin Stefanski when it comes to going for it on 4th down, things like that. I think it's this guy's dream that the team's kicker gets injured every week so they can just go for it on 4th down every down. But I'm a big fan of that style, and it's pair that with Kevin Stefanski's ability as a play caller as a whole. With that aggressiveness, I just think it's a great combination, and I think it's why he's been successful in the NFL and why I think he can continue to be successful in the NFL now that he has resumed play calling duties for the Browns. What does this mean for Tommy Rees? Not a lot. I spoke about, in the video that I did when he was hired, that I didn't expect him to call plays anyway. I expected Kevin Stefanski to take back those duties. But that doesn't render him useless by any means. I think some people seem to think that play calling, is the kind of be all and ends all of an offense. It's just a part of it. If anything, the game plan and what you do in the week in terms of the offensive meetings and implementing the game plan through practice and stuff is just as important, if not more important, than the play calling. So with Tommy Rees not calling the plays, that doesn't mean that he's not got anything to do as an offensive coordinator. He's still the leader of that offensive staff. He's still heading those offensive meetings every week. I'm sure he'll be involved in that quarterback room as well. He's massively involved in constructing the game plan throughout the week for any given opponent, which I think, as I mentioned in the video when they hired him, I think he's going to be good at and provide some really, really positive ideas into that room. A guy coming from Alabama, you looked at his offense under Alabama, quite an exciting one, whilst also being similar in style to Kevin Stefanski's philosophy. So even without play calling, I think he can more than contribute to that room. And to that offense, and be really good within his role. He's going to get asked a lot of questions. Is he annoyed about it? Did he want to call plays and all of this stuff? I just think it's just gibberish at this point. He obviously knew when he was hired that Kevin was going to recall resume play calling duties. I would be very shocked if they, made the hire, told him he's calling plays, and then just all of a sudden 180'd and said, actually, no, Kevin's doing it now. He knew this when he was hired, and as I mentioned earlier, he still wanted to take this job over other jobs. So, again, he might not be calling plays, but I can assure you now that doesn't make him a useless offensive coordinator. There are still plenty of roles within his role as offensive coordinator that he can contribute in, and I'm sure that he will. But overall, just to kind of sum it all up, yep, really happy about Kevin taking back play calling duties. I'm not going to hide it. I think Kevin Stefanski is a great offensive mind. I've been consistent on this, ever since we hired him, and especially ever since I started this channel. I do think that he can be a successful offensive coordinator for a competitive team and a Super Bowl contending team. I truly do believe that. So, if the Browns can make the right moves this offseason on offense, bring in the right guys, of course, strike some luck every now, in some places, maybe that's a quarterback. Hopefully that's a quarterback. And get this offense back on track, and this team could be just as competitive as they were in 2023 next season. I don't believe why not. So again, really happy with the move. Looking forward to Kevin taking back play calling duties, going for it on every fourth down. All the fans moaning on social media about him not running the ball enough, even though we've been top 5 in rushing attempts every year pretty much under him. And one final thing I will just say on Kevin Stefanski, you might have your problems with him, but again, the proof is in the pudding. You look at the 4 years, him calling plays under his system, look at where the offense ranked, look at the team's record, and then compare that to this year when, yes, he was calling plays at the start of the year, but under a completely different system. And then obviously with Ken Dorsey coming in, look at where the offense ranked this year and compare it. So I think this is a great move. Really happy about it. Looking forward to seeing Kevin back with the headset on. And, he's a 2-time coach of the year for the reason play calling is what he does best, in my opinion. I think that's why he's a 2-time coach of the year. I don't buy into because he's calling plays, he can't be a head coach everywhere else. That's why he's surrounded himself with plenty of smart individuals for that reason. So great move, in my opinion, and looking forward to seeing Kevin Stefanski back in the headset. One last thing before I go, just want to give a shout out to Myles Garrett being named a finalist in the Defensive Player of the Year award. He's not going to win it, of course he's not. His team finished 3-14, the joint worst record in the NFL. They're never going to give it to him. He's the best defensive player in the NFL, but that's not what wins you the award. You can't just be the best guy. You've got to be on a good team, and unfortunately he wasn't this year. But it just goes to show you how good he is, that even though he was on, as I said, the worst team in the NFL record-wise, he was still a finalist in this award, just because of how good he is. The other guys, Pat Surtain, Zach Bourne, TJ Watt, and Hendrickson, I believe. TJ Watt, don't know what he's doing on there. This is not Make-A-Wish. This is NFL awards. So again, not really sure why he's on there. Personally, for me, it would probably be Pat Surtain, if I had to pick any of the guys other than Myles, of course. But again, just to get nominated in the first place, despite being on a 3-14 team, incredible stuff from Myles. Second year he's been a finalist. So, just wanted to give a shout out to the best defensive player in the NFL on his nomination. So shout out to you, Myles, and I can't wait till you sign your new contract this offseason. But that will do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy my content, then please drop this video a like, hit the subscribe button. It's free, but it really, really helps out my channel. You can also check the links in the description to see where you can follow and interact with me on social media. I'm always looking for video ideas. I make these videos for you guys, so drop me a DM, drop me a message if there's anything you want me to talk about, any video idea you want me to cover, any guest you want me to get on. Check the links in the description, connect with me on social media, and drop me a message, drop me a DM, let me know. I'm trying to build a community of Cleveland Browns fans, and as I always say, even if I only get to talk to one fan a day, I'm happy, because I'm talking Browns football with the best fan base in the world. Thanks again for watching, guys. Enjoy nearly Friday, nearly the weekend, but most importantly, go Browns.